Hi, it's Megan from Wink, and I am here today to check in about bottle testing. Yay, finally! Been in China for 2 months already, and I visited a whole slew of factories, and I'm here today to show you guys some of the bottles I've been testing and give you some of the feedback. I'm going to briefly go through everything and show you the bottles, but I've detailed all of my system below for how I rated the bottles and how I'm going to go about deciding which one we're going to use. So first off, I tested 7 new bottles, and I also tested them against the 2 previous Wink bottles that we've used. So not including the dip brush, but the original Wink pen, which is the shiny silver with the slanted tip, and also the current Wink pen, which is the brush and the click pen. So I tested 7 different bottles against those 2. And we're looking at 2 different mechanisms here, so both the click pin, like this, and the twist pin. I think I know from your feedback which one you guys liked the most, but in testing I kind of saw what was up. First off, I tested 7 new bottles, and I also tested them against the 2 previous Wink bottles that we've used, just so I could see how they stack up compared to what we've had in the past. So a lot of people have asked for me to bring back the original bottle. So yes, I do have some still stashed away from 2013 here in China. And it has this slanted tip and a twist. And then I'm also comparing it with the new Wink bottle, which has the brush tip and the click button. I've learned a lot of things about both mechanisms while I've been here in China and about how precise they can be. So the bottles are both the click type and the twist type, and we'll see that as we go through them. Oh, how do I rate the bottles? How did I test them? I started with 4 different metrics. The first one is called ease of application, which I like to call clickage. Ease of application just means how easy is it to get the serum out of the bottle and to put it on. The second one is leakage. So I have what I call the sleeping test, where I laid out all the bottles overnight on their sides, and I saw how much came out of the bottle or if any came out at all, and then rated that. The third metric is the length of the bottle. So that means how many days does the bottle last. The product is advertised to work for 3 months, which is 90 days. So anything 90 days or above, we're going to consider good, with a cutoff around 120. So we're really aiming for something that on average works about 100 days, because we want to slightly exceed the 90-day mark. And then the fourth one is just overall consistency. So for each pen, I tested 5 of the same ones, clicked it all the way from start to finish, and I wanted to see how consistent they were from bottle to bottle, because you would be surprised. The last component I'm going to test is just the qualitative usage of application. So how does it feel? Like, is it a good pen? I mean, everybody has a different opinion. So I've been using Wink for 3 years. It's my creation, and I think I know what I like in a pen, but what I like is not always what everyone else likes. So I've asked 10 of my most loyal Wink users to try the product before we ever make a production run, so that they can give me their feedback after we've gone through and rated and chosen the best one. Okay, now the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to briefly go through each of the pens and tell you some of the high and low points about each one. And then there's more detailed information below about the exact scores on the metrics. Okay, so first off, this is a pen from a really nice gentleman named Billy. I love visiting his factory. This scored an 8.25. I'd say the best things about it, the pens were all, I can't get the cap off, the pens were really consistent. There was minimal leakage. It lasted 100 days on average, which is really, really good. And it was really precise. So overall, I'd say it's pretty good. It's actually a different mechanism for clicking. I don't know if you can see that. It's a different mechanism than almost any of the other pens use. So it's really easy to get a precise application. You can almost count the clicks. So that's a good one. Okay, second pen, this is from a company called Top Beauty. It got 6.25. Again, this is a twist pen. I would say this one was consistent, but that clicking sound, it's a little loose. It's not really doing it for me. You can't see what's going on as much in this one, but it's just a little bit looser on the inside, and I didn't think that it felt good in my hands, and I didn't like the way that it applied the product, if that makes sense. Also, it only lasted an average of 60 days, which doesn't really live up to the mark that we promise our customers. Okay, the next pin got a 5.25, again from Top Beauty. Minimal drippage, it lasted about 80 days, but I found the weird thing about this pin, I found that the closer you got to finishing, the harder it got to turn. I almost couldn't turn it for the last 30 or 40 times, which is a lot of application, so it's like, until you can't turn it anymore. So it's okay, just didn't love it. Okay, the next one from Shirley, it scored a 6.75. I would say, again, really consistent, but I can't, that loose clicking sound to me is just not as precise as that first pin from Billie, and on average it only lasted about 70 days, so probably not what we're looking for. Okay, next pin from Shirley again. This is the click button, back to this click button mechanism. Wow, this one was crazy. This one, it didn't drip. Overnight it was fine, laid on its side, and I know a lot of you really like this felt tip edge. I think the application can be a little bit more precise because you can see the liquid, just a tiny bit of liquid coming up through here. The problem was, I clicked this thing, my thumb was about to fall off. I clicked this thing about 400 times before the bottle ran out, and each application was about 4 or 5 clicks, which I think might be where we're at with the current bottle. So I don't think we're going to be moving back to the click button anytime soon. Okay, next pin was from Jason. It scored a 2.25. This one I also tested with a slanted tip. I just found that it was really difficult. This clicking, you can hear the bounce back. It's not very good, and it only lasted about 25 to 30 days on average, so it's, the cap won't even go on. It's not gonna work. Okay, the next and the last pin is from Echo, and it scored a 4.25. We saw minimal drippage, but just this is a twist pin, but this pin really feels loose. You can almost hear when there's a quality pin or a bad pin, so it's just not meeting the mark. Now, I also scored our previous 2 Wink pins. I told you I wanted to see how everything stood up against what we've sold in the past. So the Wink pin that we currently have, I gave a 3.25. You've all used it, so you can see below where I got those scores and see if that's justified. And I also scored the original Wink pin, which has this slanted tip. I gave it a 6. I think it was actually pretty good. I don't like that. I don't like that loose ticking. So I think we finally found a better bottle. And I think everyone across the board has told me they really like this matte silver over the aluminum silver. The only thing I need to decide now, and I really need your help, is figuring out, are we going to bring back this slanted tip, or should we stick with the brush tip? All else aside, knowing that the bottle has all the properties we've discussed in the scores and that we're going to have an awesome bottle in 2016, which tip should we use? So you can sound off in the comments below. Also, feel free to email me with any feedback that you have. I'd love to hear what you have to say. My hands are tired. I've met so many people, but I'm so excited because we're finally going to have a Wink bottle that is as awesome as the product inside of it. So thank you guys for listening, and I'm sorry this video took so long, but I'm really grateful for everything that's happened, and I made a good choice coming to China. So alright guys, I'll see you in the next vlog.